Yikes! In a bombshell new interview, Meghan Markle effectively accuses the royal family of being a bunch of liars in a major escalation of the bitter war between Team Sussex and Team Wales. Now, Meghan Markle, who is clinically addicted to publicity, has been out of the news for 5 seconds, which is why, in an act of desperation, she has appeared on Aspire, a new podcast hosted by the highly impressive business guru and influencer Emma Grede, who's made millions in various ventures, unlike Meghan, who has only been responsible for business flops. And one thing this young woman's done is that she's worked with Kim Kardashian on a range of jeans, which must be very spacious on the rear. Who knows, I might buy some. But the problem with this podcast appearance, the problem with the show, it's not the programme, it's not the host, it is the guest. Yes, this was another car crash appearance from the Duchess of Double Standards, who once again decides to attack the royal family, even though allegedly the couple have moved on and they've pursued a life of freedom, privacy and independence in California. Also in this show, she gaslights Harry, she demonstrates her wild narcissism, and as ever, she tries and fails to show us her human side. Because of course, Meghan hasn't got a human side. The woman is an avatar, she's a hologram. She is the grinning manifestation of ChatGPT software gone horribly wrong. Now, this excruciating interview is an hour and a half. That's right, it's an hour and a half. That makes it feature length. So therefore, technically, it qualifies as the worst movie ever made. Well, the Mark Dolan Show has watched it, so you don't have to. And the big headline, before I get to some great clips, I've got some fabulous clips that I'll be reacting to.
I watched the show. I feel like it's very clear. I did not make anything. I'm not going to lie.
Do you cook?
I am such a cook.
But let's get to that headline, where the excellent host, Emma Grede, who, as I said, is an accomplished British businesswoman that's moved to America. She's made a fortune. She knows how it's done. And she said to Meghan about her reputation and about the narrative around the couple. Emma Grede said, if you could rewrite your public narrative, the story about you, from scratch, is there anything that you would do differently? Now, of course, that's an open goal, isn't it? Because if I was Meghan Markle and someone said to me, would I do anything differently? Then I would say yes, I would do things very differently. For example, I would have reflected on the responsibilities of frontline royal life before marrying the son of Prince Charles. Yes, I would not have run headlong into a marriage knowing that that could be years and years and decades of opening hospital wings and eating cucumber sandwiches and smelling fresh paint wherever you go. Because, of course, what happens to the royals, whenever they are taken on a tour of anywhere, the place has always been freshly painted. So if that's not what you want, then don't sign up for it in the first place. So there are so many things that Meghan could have said in terms of her regrets. But instead, rather viciously and shockingly, she said, yes, there is something I would do differently. I would ask people to tell the truth. That's what she said. I would ask people to tell the truth. What does Meghan know about the truth? What about the lies on that Oprah interview, including the completely invented claim that she got married the day before her wedding, a claim contradicted by none other than the Archbishop of Canterbury? Meghan has no relationship with the truth. So who is she to say, I would ask people to tell the truth? Now, we know who these people are. It is the firm, it is the royal family, it is the Mountbatten Windsors. Because as we said before on the Mark Dolan Show, her vicious scorched earth policy against the royal family is not over. Moving to California, moving over to Montecito has not caused a cessation. There's no ceasefire because Meghan will stop at nothing to destroy the royal family and to destroy the monarchy. So here she is in a fresh podcast appearance saying, yes, I would ask people to tell the truth, in a clear reference to the firm and her time at Buckingham Palace in 2018. So we're talking here about these persistent falsehoods, apparently, reflecting on her misinformation since 2017. She invoked advice from Serena Williams, the tennis player, who is one of her enabling friends. Okay, Serena Williams is let me tell you, Serena Williams is an incredible athlete, a fabulous tennis player, but she's horribly beholden to Meghan Markle. I'm afraid Serena Williams has joined the Meghan Markle cult. It's embarrassing for someone of her stature and talent and achievement to even lower herself to be in the Meghan inner circle. Can you think of anything worse than being in the Meghan inner circle. Well, it's a shrinking circle because she's dumped most of her friends. Anyhow, so Serena Williams said, a lie can't live forever. And Meghan added, 8 years is a long time, but not forever. So it's a clear reference to her time courting Prince Harry and, of course, marrying him. And this couple, you know, they love to throw around that expression misinformation. But this is the same couple whose interview with Oprah Winfrey did not stand up to any scrutiny whatsoever. I mean, this wasn't journalism from Oprah. It was a softball interview. It was propaganda, folks, wasn't it? It was like a corporate video demonstrating just how terrible Harry and Meghan's lives had become, full of lies, including, by the way, the accusation of racism against an unnamed member of the royal family. The royals couldn't defend themselves because that's not what they do, because they're dignified, they don't speak out. So if you make an accusation like that, it sticks, which is devastating. And now, on top of that accusation, in my opinion, false accusation of racism, and I say that because if you speculate what your granddaughter or grandson is going to look like before they're born, okay, that is something, that's a conversation that every family in the history of humanity has had. And let me tell you, it's the same with my boys, okay? For their privacy, we don't give the real names. We call them Elton and Bernie. And, you know, before Elton and Bernie were born, there were lots of conversations about, you know, who the kids would take after. In the end, both the boys got my intelligence and good looks and Mrs. Dolan's feet and short temper. So, you know, it's a wonderful thing to reflect on what the kids are going to look like. But of course, according to Meghan Markle and her twisted narrative, that was racism. Shocking. And by the way, we know that to be a lie because the couple contradicted themselves with Harry a few days later going, oh no, we were talking about unbiased, was it unconscious bias? We were talking about unconscious bias because, of course, Harry has been on far too many DEI courses. He's had too much therapy, okay? I believe in a bit of therapy. I've got viewers, the Mark Dolan Show, who are going through tough times. I read the comments every day. The comments are not part of the show. They are the show. You are the show. This belongs to us. And I read your comments, and lots of you, you know, you've got health issues. Some people have mental health issues as well, and depression and all these. And those are very real things. And so if you're struggling, you must reach out. You must. There are always resources out there. If it's a neighbor, it's a friend, go online, website, there are resources. I would urge you to do that because life is difficult and I get my ups and downs. Of course I do. We all do. Especially when I have to watch Meghan Markle for an hour and a half, 90 minutes. It's the way, it literally, that's a movie, isn't it? 90 minutes, a 90-minute interview. I mean, that woman couldn't fill 90 seconds, let alone 90 minutes. I got to sit there through that rubbish. It was actually worse than The Hangover 3. It's left me with a stinking hangover watching it. But look, I've got some great clips. The clips are coming. Hold fire. So much to pack in, folks. So much to pack into today's show. So there she is. Okay. 8 years is a long time, but not forever. I would like people to tell the truth. That's what she said. So this is essentially Meghan arguing. And of course, in a clever legalistic way that protects her from any consequences. She's saying that, you know, her terrible behaviour whilst in the palace, you know, the diva behaviour, the bullying, the complaints to the Queen about allegedly calling or being rude to an undergardener. Do you remember Meghan allegedly attacking an undergardener on the minimum wage, whose job it is just to shovel soil and dig her geraniums out? Gets an earful from Duchess Difficult, all the staff that they got through, bullying culture, selfish behaviour, all of these things that were allegedly happening whilst the couple was serving royals. She now wants to reframe that as lies. And I've got two problems with this. One is to accuse the royal family of lying. This is a venerated family. This is, in principle, well, it is. It's the greatest family in England. The royal family is the greatest family in England. It is England's finest family, the United Kingdom, Britain. It's Britain's first family. The wife of the President of the United States is the First Lady. And the Windsors, the Mountbatten Windsors, are Britain's first family. They are the leading family of the nation. And so to accuse them of something as shallow as lying, as misinformation. So I'm bothered by the accusation of lying, which, of course, the royals are far too dignified to respond to. But it's worse than that. It's the fact that this egregious war carries on. She's got such a chip on her shoulder about the royal family. It's not just a chip, it's a potato farm resting on her shoulder. And it's because she's so irritated by the fact that William and Catherine are now the most popular royals in the world and that they're going to be king and queen one day. She's so furious. She's so bitter. She's so jealous. So she's got to keep attacking. So the lies that she's saying about the royal family are so wrong. It's so cruel. It's so unfair. But we know it is nonsense. Well, there was a lot more nonsense in this interview. By the way, she talked about, this is so great. I mean, I swear to God, I'm loving this. She talked about navigating public scrutiny and personal growth. She reflected on the emotional toll of fame. That's right, because this woman who dreamed of being a star from the age of 5, facilitated by her father, Thomas Markle, who gave her everything in life. All right, that was her dream. He helped make it happen. And she doesn't like fame, apparently. Apparently it's a terrible burden now, even though she's dreamed of it since she was born. She said, you go, what's the why? By the way, she does this. There's a lot of meaningless jargon. What's the why? What is that sentence? What is what's the why? What's the why? What does that mean? What's the why? Well, she talks gobbledygook because she's just peddling nonsense, really. It's just like hypnosis. She goes, what's the why? It's happening for a reason. Well, we know what the reason is. So she's trying to suggest there that there's an agenda against her in terms of her fame and the publicity she gets. Except that this is a woman that's pursued fame since she was a little girl. And she married a prince, the son of the king of the United Kingdom, he would become eventually. She's had the podcasts. She's had the TV shows. She's had the book, which I'll be honest, I think she ghost wrote for Harry because Harry can't write because he doesn't do sentences because he's as sick as 2 short planks, I'm afraid to say. But, so that's that, right? She's pursued it, but now she reckons it's terrible, some conspiracy against her. It's a great burden that she's been made so famous. This is a woman who pursued fame like you wouldn't believe and went on a world privacy tour after leaving the UK when she wanted privacy. She emphasises the importance of introspection and purpose. Well, I wish she had a bit more introspection because I wouldn't have to watch her for an hour and a half yapping on about her terrible life. She also talked about the baby mama dance video. This, of course, is when she twerked whilst expecting Lily. She was asked if she anticipated criticism. And she said, oh, did you see my baby mama dance? And she clarified that the film was clipped 4 years ago. She said, that wasn't yesterday. That was 4 years ago. Well, we're not stupid, Meghan. You were pregnant at the time with your big moon bump lump. Your moon bump lump. Your moon bump lump. Your moon bump lump. Moon bump, moon bump, moon bump lump. Ooh. I mean, seriously, have I got a bigger moon bump than Meg's? Shall we have a look at my tummy at the moment? There you go. That's about 3 months, isn't it? I think we're ready for the scan. Who knows whether cameraman John managed to capture that. We've got the clips coming, by the way. The clips are coming. Can I tell you that the studio is sweltering today? I've had to bring a towel in, and I'll be honest with you, my temperature is rising because I'm so furious about these latest accusations towards the royal family of being a bunch of liars. Isn't that just a sin? It's a disgraceful thing. Anyway, she's defended that terrible clip, the undignified clip of doing her wacky twerk dance whilst expecting Lily, which, by the way, will be very embarrassing for Lily in years to come. But Meghan's already decided Lily and Archie's fate long ago. She doesn't care. It's all about her. They are just going to be an offspring of her. They'll be like a satellite brand to support brand Meghan when she is a single woman, because Harry and Meghan on the Mark Dolan show are on 24/7 divorce watch. It's the first show in the world to place the couple on 24/7 divorce watch. It will happen, and we'll get into Meghan's plans post-divorce on another show. She said that disgusting video of her twerking, which is undignified, especially for a royal, apparently, allegedly a duchess. If she's a duchess, folks, I'm a dame. Seriously, do me a favour. So she added that the video highlights a real, authentic, fun life that's happening behind the scenes. Well, it's not that behind the scenes. You've published it to the internet, haven't you? She's also talked about regaining her voice in social media. She noted her return to Instagram in January allowed her to share it on my own terms. She described it as a way to get my voice back. We've had nothing but this woman's voice for 5 years. It's all we've done is heard her voice. There's no voice to get back. She said too much already and caused huge damage. So let's get to the clips now. I'm so excited about this. Emma, who is the host of the show, who I love. She's a fabulous British woman living in America now. Made a fortune with Kim Kardashian with those spacious jeans, with those jeans which are very roomy around the derriere. I might buy a pair. Although, because you'd have to find my bum first. I have no bum. There's no bum, so I might struggle with the Kim Kardashian jeans, but it's worth a try. I could model them. In fact, we're pursuing sponsors at the moment. Maybe I should get Kim Kardashian to sponsor the show with her jeans. What do you think? Folks, let's get to the clips. So, Emma, the host, who I think is great, she said to Meghan, why did she start her business empire? Of course, I use the term empire loosely.
It would work out, I'm telling you. So take me back to the beginnings of As Ever, because I'm guessing that, like so many founders, you've been trying to get this business off the ground for a while. It's finally launched and to much fanfare.
Oh, goodness.
So I'd love to know, I want to understand, like, how did it start?
I knew that I wanted to put something in the world. And for years, I mean, we've been out here for 5 years now, really trying to decipher what do I want to share? Mm-hmm. What do I authentically, organically want to share, and how to translate that? And
now, this woman cannot use the word authentic, okay? That is a breach of the Trades Description Act. She hasn't got an authentic bone in her body. Meghan Markle is about as authentic as a $9 Rolex. And she does Orwellian doublespeak. Do you know about this? George Orwell, 1984, fantastic dystopian novel. And they had always, the government, this evil government, would call things the opposite of what they are to confuse people. And so, for example, the Ministry of War was called the Ministry of Peace and that kind of thing. It was always the opposite of the truth is what they told you. Well, Meghan Markle is no better, because there she goes, talking about authentic and talking about, how she wants to share with the world. That's right. She's sharing things with the world. She's such a lovely, kind person. You're not sharing anything. No business person is sharing anything. You're selling. There's no sharing. You're selling. Don't pretend you're not selling and pursuing money. Is Tim Cook of Apple sharing iPhones? I don't think so. Is Elon Musk sharing Teslas and space rockets? No, this is not honest. It's Orwellian doublespeak. If she talked about lies in the royal family, she's the liar, talking about how her brand and her company is about sharing things with the world. Well, no, it's only sharing, by the way, if it's free. So if Mrs. Dolan, for example, shares a little of her fillet steak with me over dinner, that's sharing. If she charges me $10, then she's selling me that steak. She never would do that. She wouldn't offer such good value. So there you are. It's an outrageous thing. Then we have the quote about her friends. Let's take a listen.
So many friends at the same time had texted saying, I don't know what it is, but your gems just make me so happy.
Okay, so this is a common theme of Meghan's life, which is that she surrounds herself with enablers. Her TV show, With Love Meghan, involves everybody on the show telling her how amazing she is, what an inspirational human being, including poor old Prince Harry, right? The world's least happy millionaire. Poor Prince Harry, world's least happy millionaire. And that's what she does. She surrounds herself with enablers. And her friends are telling her that her jam is making them crazy high and excited. Well, I think it's probably because she's put some flour sprinkles in the jam, which are hallucinogenic, toxic, and human beings aren't supposed to eat flowers, by the way. But God knows what's in that jam that made her friends high. It's California, so anything goes. But the bottom line is that is the Meghan theme, that she surrounds herself with yes men and yes women. And if you do not fall into line and support her all the way and prop up her fragile ego, you will be for the knackers yard. You will be disappearing, just as we've seen from the likes of Thomas Markle himself, her own father, who lives in a high-rise apartment in the Philippines. He's in the Philippines now. He is in the Philippines. He's in the Philippines. And like me, I doubt he's got air conditioning, so he's lying there in bed in his high-rise apartment, sweating his knackers off, kept awake at night because the apartment, it overlooks a 7-lane highway. Environmentally unfriendly Philippines cars, keeping him up at night. The poor man. Then she was asked about other fields of endeavour. So could she have done other things in terms of business ideas?
It was probably more obvious to a lot of people that I would get into fashion or beauty.
No doubt.
Now, poor old Emma, the host, has had to be an enabler too, going, yes, you should have worked in fashion, you should have worked in beauty, no doubt, because you're so fashionable and you're so beautiful. Right? This woman, she never faces resistance anymore. Everyone is a yes man and a yes woman, even Harry, who, embarrassingly, on his own, she did the show with Love Meghan on Netflix, and he appears at the end, he gets a bit part role, where he's like, well done, my love. Well done, my love. I'm so proud of you. Well done, my love. So everybody has got to suck up to her. And by the way, isn't that arrogant when she says, yes, people would assume that I would do fashion or beauty. People would assume that I would do fashion or beauty. Why would they assume that? Are you a style guru? Are you that stunningly beautiful that we would assume that that's what you would pursue? I don't think so. I think that is arrogant, and that's Meghan for you, because she is someone that has narcissistic tendencies. Okay, then we get to her catchphrase. We know the catchphrase. How does she refer to Harry? Does she call him Harry, which is his proper name?
My husband and I. My husband and I. My husband and I. My husband and I.
Oh, my husband and I. I call him H. It's a secret name. It's Harry, really. Oh, my husband. The woman has become a joke. She's become her own caricature. Let's get back to Meghan's authenticity now. This will be interesting.
I go back to the authenticity, right? It's what I love and it's what I want to share. So what I was cooking in my home, to figure out recipe testing to scale that to a level where you can share it more broadly. And of course, compliance is different globally when we get into that market, which we will.
You're going global.
How can we not?
I mean, how can you not?
Yeah, but it's the spirit of sharing.
Please stop saying that when you're selling products to a stupid public that you're sharing anything. You're not. You are selling. Spirit of sharing. Do me a favor. Going global. Meghan Markle to go global with her business empire. She can't go national. She sold 11 jars of her dusty jam, which then apparently sold out. And that was it. And then she didn't have any inventory after that. There were no products. And there's been nothing for 3 months. But apparently she's ready to go global. Do me a favor. Also, people at farmers markets. I go to a nice farmers market. Do you like a farmers market? I enjoy a farmers market. The only thing I don't like, where is my towel? Because I am cooking. I am cooking tonight. Cooking with gas. Blimey. There are people at farmers markets that do a better job than Meghan Markle. And I love the farmers markets. It's about $70,000 for a jar of jam in a farmers market. They're not cheap, are they? But at least the people have organised themselves to have products which taste good, which are available for public purchase, unlike Meghan. Meghan's business empire is a complete sham. So she thinks she's going to go global. It ain't going to happen. Okay, next up, let's have a look at this idea of going global. Now, what Emma said, who's a proper entrepreneur, she referenced something called P&L, which is profit and loss. It's basically, that's about your profits, how much the company makes. It's the balance sheet. And Emma, who's an accomplished entrepreneur, takes no nonsense and basically stands up to Meghan. And Meghan doesn't like it because what Emma does is Emma kind of just says, well, look, the reason why you want to go global is you want to make money, right? It's a lovely moment where Emma gets real, gets tough with Meghan, stands up to Meghan. And get up, stand up for your life. And it's brilliant, right? Meghan doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. And there's nervous laughter. And Meghan digs in with her sharing nonsense. Take a listen. This is explosive stuff. I want you to watch the body language. Watch Meghan's reaction. When she doesn't like Emma standing up to her, she adjusts her hair behind her ear and she points her finger. And she's smiling, but she's raging. Take a look at this. It's gold.
I don't want to just share it here. I want to share
it.
It's
better for the P&L.
Well,
there is that, Meghan.
Yes, that's true. And in the spirit of sharing.
That is powerful stuff. I think we need to watch that again. Let's watch that one more time.
I don't want to just share it here. I want to share it.
It's better for the P&L. Well, there is that, Meghan.
Yes, that's true. And in the spirit of sharing.
And it's about sharing and faring. And sharing and faring, and about faring and sharing, and it's about sharing and faring, and Meghan does not like it when someone stands up to her. That was a beautiful thing. It was almost Shakespearean. Well done, Emma. who is fast becoming my favorite podcaster. Isn't she brilliant? Okay, so next up, let's take a look at As Ever, right? So what the host then says is, what are your ambitions for the As Ever? And look at the hesitation from Meghan, right? Because Emma thinks that maybe As Ever is going to be a huge thing. And if you look at Meghan's reaction, even Meghan doesn't believe this, right? She doesn't believe in the whole project. She knows it's a sham.
You have big ambitions for As Ever.
I do.
Yeah, I hope so.
Did you see that? Did you see that crazy hesitation? Let's take another listen, right? A really long gap that you could drive a bus through. And she's like, I do. And then she goes, thank you, which is something she kept saying on the TV show, the Netflix show. Thank you, because everyone is paying her compliments because everyone is her enabler, except the Mark Dolan show where we burst the bubble. Anyway, let's take another look at this moment where Meghan clearly doesn't believe what she's saying.
You have big ambitions for As Ever.
I do.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen. Also, Meghan talks about teamwork. Lol.
I don't. I think I have.
Cards.
I think that I've always had a very entrepreneurial spirit, as we talked about, but equally, I enjoy being in a position of having a strong team around me, being able to help guide that team as a whole.
What does she know about teamwork? She's had over 18 members of staff leave since they moved to North America. They have got through more staff than James Corden gets through Krispy Kreme donuts. She's talking about teamwork. All she does, she's famous for sending horrible 5 a.m. emails to people, desperately looking for an instant response because she's very obsessed about what she wants, and she does it at 5 in the morning, and everyone's miserable. The people that used to work for Harry and Meghan at the palace are commonly known as the Sussex Survivors Club. That tells you everything about so-called teamwork.
And I've also, in the adventures of my life, I have certainly navigated through things that can in some ways feel bigger.
Yeah.
So this for me is just another chapter that I think is full of, I'm a very curious person, new learns. I love learning something new all the time. I don't feel imposter syndrome. I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be right now.
Okay, there's a lot to unpick there. First of all, this is a very, again, veiled reference to her time as a serving royal when she talks about how she navigated things that were bigger than her. Well, you could say navigated. The truth is manipulated and destroyed is what she did, because she's done so much damage to the royal family. On a human level, King Charles has seen very little of his grandchildren. And when's the next time he's going to see his own son, even though he's battling cancer? And you've got a split. I mean, the brothers aren't talking, William and Harry. So much damage to that family on an emotional level, so much reputational damage to the royal family globally. And Meghan reckons that it's David and Goliath. She's the little one fighting this bigger thing and navigating it. Not navigating it, Meghan, destroying it. Also, again, more butchering of the English language when she talks about new learns. She uses this jargon because she's an amateur. She's out of her depth. She doesn't know what she's talking about, and she wants to blind us with science. Always beware people that use jargon. It means they're bluffing. So, and also imposter syndrome. She said she's got no imposter syndrome. That's right. She's so happy not to have oh my God, what's going on? Give me strength, please. My mental health. Right. Seriously, I mean, I reckon I've lost about 1 kilo in weight doing this show. She hasn't got imposter syndrome. Well, that's because she's got no self-doubt. And that's because she's got no soul. She's got no capacity to look at her own behavior or self-reflect. I think there's a sociopathic element here. So, of course, there's no imposter syndrome because she's not humble. And she can't see outside herself. Except the irony is she says she's got no imposter syndrome, but she should. Because she is an imposter. Because she's not a TV host, so she's an imposter on Netflix. She's not a broadcaster, so she's an imposter on podcasts, especially her own, which was called Confessions of a Female Founder, which is a stolen title from someone with a successful podcast of the same name, and she's not a founder either. And I think she's an imposter on Suits. I don't think but this is not Meryl Streep we're talking about here, folks. This is a Z-list actress who wasn't the best thing in Suits, which was in itself a pretty lightweight affair. She wasn't a royal. She was an imposter as a royal because she wouldn't follow the rules and had no dignity and no discretion, unlike Princess Catherine. So, frankly, she should have imposter syndrome. She's the biggest imposter the world has ever seen. She then goes on to repeat the lie about selling out of jam.
Yes, well, and also trying to make sure you have all the metrics and all the learns that you can, but when everything sells out in 45 minutes, you don't necessarily get the same learns. You're like, okay, so now as
minute number 5, this was tracking. Yeah, it tells you nothing. It's hard to learn from your business when it's like that. But really good problems to have, I think.
Good problems to have, champagne problems, as they call them.
Absolutely,
and,
they are.
You know, the world is learning with me in real time.
The world is learning with me in real time. The hubris there, the arrogance is off the charts. And that poor woman, Emma, having to hear her peddling that lie about selling out in 45 minutes. It was 11 jars of dusty jam that no one wanted. People have probably had food poisoning from it since they opened those disgusting jars. And this is a woman, Emma, that sold millions of units of those very rummy, bum-friendly Kim Kardashian jeans that I may well buy once I get a bum. Then I may well wear one. How do you get a bum, by the way? I mean, at some point, if you're looking at sponsors, we could be sponsored by a plastic surgeon and I could go and get a bum lift. I could get one of those Brazilian, let me know in the comments, do you think that my bum should be bigger? Well, you haven't really seen my bum. I'll do a modeling session for you at some point. But seriously, who is she? Who is she kidding? Okay, then we get to, as ever, an awkward moment.
I watched the show. I feel like it's very clear. I did not make anything. I'm not going to lie.
Do you cook?
I am such a cook.
Now, this is absolute gold. And can you imagine how internally furious Meghan Markle is? Meghan's like, did you watch my show? And the woman's like, yes. Or I watched your show. Did you cook? Did you use the recipe? The woman's like, no, I'm a proper cook. Let's just enjoy that moment one more time. Absolutely delicious.
I watched the show. I feel like it's very clear. I did not make anything. I'm not going to lie.
Do you cook?
I am such a cook.
Ouch. I mean, seriously, I love this Emma woman. She is doing everything to destroy Meghan's ego. Yes. It is a beautiful thing to behold. Okay, let's get to the next one. This is another great clip. There are so many. This was about raising investment. And it is very interesting, right? Because Meghan's talking about, raising capital for her businesses. You get business people to pump millions into her project. And the host, Emma, who knows the business world inside out, she looks down when she says that Meghan will be successful. Just watch her body language, Emma's body language, when she tries to encourage Meghan that it's going to be fine and that she'll get investment. She looks down, and that's because Emma knows it's not true. Fascinating body language. Take a look.
But yes, I mean, as we continue to grow, you might be looking to expand, certainly globally. And if there's a raise that's involved in that, then I think we'll be in a really good position to do that.
Yeah, no doubt you will be. I have absolutely no doubt in that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No one ever asked me how I feel. Didn't you know? I'm not Meghan Markle anymore. I'm Meghan Sussex. Next up, does Meghan ever think of failure?
When you think about the failure rate for first-time entrepreneurs, does that ever concern you? Have you even let your mind go there?
I do not think about failing. No.
You're not scared of failing?
Is anything actually a failure?
Yes, Meghan, lots of things are failure. Your time as a royal, your relationship with your father who lives in a high-rise in the Philippines, overlooking a 7-lane highway. Your podcast with Harry, the Harry and Meghan Archwell podcast, a complete flop, which saw you lose your Spotify deal. That's a failure. Your own podcast, American Riviera Orchard, which sounds like a skin disease, but was your first failed brand. What about the As Ever brand, which has had no stock for 3 months? Everything you've touched, Meghan, has turned to mud. And that is what failure looks like. Okay, now, next clip is very interesting. And it's about Meghan's acting career and how she was concerned about the impact of her ethnic background.
At that time, there were certainly not a lot of mixed race parts.
Really?
No.
Really?
No.
Now, there you go. Emma, who is an honest person and has the seeing eye, doesn't believe Meghan. She's like, really? What are you on about? And of course, it's worth pointing out that Emma, stunning, beautiful woman, is of mixed race heritage herself. And she's like, Meghan, what are you on about? Really? Really? So that's awkward, but it gets worse because then Meghan goes on to try to explain this issue. And it's very, very confusing, to say the least.
No, there weren't a lot of, if I was going in for an audition, it was either, you have to remember, this was a very different time than it is now. It was girl next door. That was typically blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and a certain look.
Fair.
But because I'm half white, I would also be submitted for those roles. And then if it was a character that had any sort of ethnicity, there was always a bit of a edge to those characters, but I'd be submitted for those roles. And I also, to a lot of people in casting, they thought I was Latina. So I share that because, and I've shared this before, it was a numbers game. If I'm only up for 10 parts, that could be 10 no's. But if I'm up for 30 parts, because I can fit into so many different rooms, that could be 30 no's. That is a lot to chip away at your self-esteem.
All right, so the maths don't really add up here because I'm very sympathetic to the principle that there may be issues for mixed race or ethnic actors in Hollywood. I get that, and I acknowledge that, no problem. But Meghan's numbers don't add up because she said she's complaining because if she didn't have her particular heritage, she'd be up for 10 parts. But because of her heritage, she's actually available for 30 parts. So isn't that 3 times the number of opportunities to be in a movie or a TV show than if she didn't have her own background with Doria and Thomas as her parents? So she complains that she can get rejected 30 times rather than 10. Make it make sense. You see, the issue is that it doesn't fit the victimhood narrative to point out that she's just said in that anecdote that she had more opportunities, not fewer. Next up, motherhood, her speciality.
And as a mom, you want to set the example for what your children are going to think about themselves.
Can you think of a worse role model than Meghan Markle? Telling her daughter Lily that if you want to be successful, you need to marry a prince and then destroy the institution and split the family down the middle. What kind of role model is that? Also, the kind of role model, she cares so much about her family. She's so worried about the security and online safety of Archie and Lily that she splashes them on the internet on an almost daily basis. I got no problem with her going back on social media from January because that's her plan post-divorce, is to have a huge social media footprint. And that's what she's so smart. She's very strategic. What Meghan wants, Meghan gets. But I don't mind her doing that. But she's leveraging Archie and Lily for the growth. And that's unforgivable. So how dare she talk about herself as this perfect maternal figure? Quite the opposite. I don't think any mother in their own right mind would splash their kids all over the internet. I mean, I don't do that with my 2 sons, Elton and Bernie, partly because they're not photogenic. They both got, very good characters. They're strong, principled people, but facially, the eldest, you know what I mean? But still, great company. What a character. Last but not least, Meghan talks about kindness. Isn't that a beautiful thing? That's right. She talks about kindness. Let's take a listen.
You have to be so authentically the role model and the example of confidence, self-forgiveness, kindness, fun, all of those things. You can't fake that.
You have to play the role and be an example of confidence, self-forgiveness, be nice to yourself, and vile to everyone else. You must do kindness, fun, all of those things. You can't fake that. You can only fake being a pleasant human being. Quite shocking. Quite shocking. The woman is outrageous. And she can fake that. She can fake everything because she's been faking it for her entire life. Folks, so many more stories to come. So a special episode today because of this show that has dropped. And there will be more clips from the show tomorrow because we've only got through some of it, plus some great other stories. Please, if you can, subscribe to the channel. Please like if you're able to because it spreads the channel to more people. And hit the notification reminder bell so when a video drops, you're the first to know about it. And what else did I want to say? I wanted to say, let me know what you're loving. Let me know what you're not loving. So many more adventures to come. The Mark Dolan Show, live from the United States daily at the end of June. And the other thing I want to tell you is that my neighbour's cat, Reg, is back. And all being well, will feature in tomorrow's show. Reg Strikes Back. See you tomorrow. Stay awesome. My husband.